Chosen one. Listen closely. Something sacred happened on December 6th. The world called it just another day, but heaven called it a signal. You woke up feeling something heavy, electric, and strange, not knowing that eternity had brushed against your timeline. The pulse in your chest, the sudden stillness in the air, the goosebumps you couldn't explain. They weren't coincidences. They were coordinates. Heaven was dialing your spirit, not your phone. You felt a divine interruption. You thought it was anxiety, fatigue, or mood, but no. It was God whispering, "Wake up, I'm speaking." That day, heaven released a frequency only the chosen could hear, and you, yes you, felt it because your spirit is tuned differently. You are not ordinary. You are marked. You are wired to respond to the sound of divine movement. There are moments when heaven pauses everything else, when angels lean close, and the spiritual atmosphere thickens with purpose. December 6th was one of those moments. Some felt chills, some felt peace, some cried for no reason. Some were suddenly reminded of things long forgotten, old dreams. Broken promises, prayers that once seemed buried. It wasn't random, it was a recall. Heaven was activating memory inside your spirit. You are not reading this by accident. You have been led here because the signal was sent to you. And whether you realized it or not, something shifted that day. The same way a radio station changes its frequency and only those tuned in can hear the broadcast. Your heart was tuned into a higher wavelength. You may not have words for it yet, but your spirit remembers. Heaven adjusted your frequency so you could finally discern what the noise of the world had long been drowning out: the gentle, commanding voice of destiny summoning you to awaken and walk in divine authority. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah in chapter 33, verse 3. "Call to me and I will answer you and show great and unsearchable things you do not know." Those unsearchable things are what your soul began to sense on December 6th. The divine was whispering answers before you even formed the questions. You felt a tug because God was marking the beginning of a new cycle, a divine reset. You may have noticed strange patterns around that day, people from the past reaching out, sudden emotional surges, dreams vivid with symbols you can't shake. That was heaven coding your next instruction through emotional frequencies and symbols. Every chosen one was receiving their own encrypted message. You are one of them. Don't downplay what you felt. Don't dismiss the chills, the inner stirring, the sudden need to pray, the urge to isolate. It was heaven calling a meeting in the spirit. It was not a storm, it was an announcement. Many didn't notice. The signal was too high for those whose spirits were dulled by noise. But your sensitivity, that's not weakness, it's evidence of divine tuning. When others sleep through holy hours, you wake up at 3 a.m., feeling a weight on your heart. That's not insomnia, that's invitation. Heaven is deliberate. Nothing it does is random. You have survived battles, heartbreaks, betrayals, and still your faith flickers. That's proof you were meant to hear what others can't. The signal was never global in sound, but global in reach. God whispered to thousands, but only the chosen felt it in their bones. You did. That's why this message has found you. Chosen one. You must understand this signal wasn't meant to entertain, it was meant to awaken. A season is turning. Assignments are being released, or you are being repositioned. That's why life started feeling like a shake. The earth beneath your feet had to move so that your destiny could be realigned. Do not fear what shifted after December 6th. Some doors may have closed. Some relationships may have gone silent. Some plans may have crumbled, all by divine design. Heaven rearranged your atmosphere so that you could breathe again in purpose. And now you are standing in the first day of your awakening. This isn't just inspiration, it's instruction. Heaven is saying, listen. Silence the noise. Watch your surroundings. The next confirmation will come quickly, and you'll recognize it by peace deep, undeniable supernatural peace that nothing can imitate. So before you scroll away, pause. Breathe. You were chosen to feel what others ignored. You were marked by heaven's frequency, and now you're being summoned to rise. This is your moment of divine awareness. If this word stirs something inside you, don't keep it to yourself. Spread the signal. Share this message so another chosen one can awaken. Tap like. Drop a comment with the number 333 to mark your alignment with Heaven's code. And subscribe so you don't miss the next release of divine instruction. What you felt on December 6th wasn't random. It was the first echo of your calling coming alive. You remember how the air felt thick that day, as if something invisible pressed against your skin. It wasn't fear. It wasn't coincidence. It was a stirring in the unseen realm. Something brushed through the atmosphere, and your spirit, ever alert though weary, recognized it before your mind could. You tried to explain it away: exhaustion, stress, mood swings, but deep down you knew better. Something holy was moving. The uneasiness wasn't darkness, it was light trying to enter. Chosen one. This is what happens when heaven draws near. The spiritual veil thins, and your senses begin to pick up the vibration of eternity. You may feel restless, emotional, or suddenly aware of things beyond sight. Your body reacts to spiritual traffic, angelic presence, divine movement, and unseen alignment. What you call chills or energy is the collision of two dimensions, the eternal and the earthly. When angels are dispatched, the environment changes, time feels different. Random thoughts begin to carry weight. Silence grows heavy. Your name echoes in the spirit realm. The December 6th signal wasn't meant to frighten you. It was meant to awaken the divine awareness lying dormant inside you. Heaven doesn't speak with thunder only. Sometimes it whispers through the weight of stillness. That day, heaven adjusted frequencies. The reason you felt uneasy was because your soul was expanding to contain new revelation. Growth feels like discomfort before it feels like glory. God was stretching your awareness so you could perceive more than you ever have. The unease was a doorway. Every chosen one passes through this shaking before stepping into clarity. The Spirit of God often moves quietly, wrapping His presence around you like an unseen wind. You may not see Him, but everything around you starts responding to His touch. Animals grow still, the room temperature shifts, and even your heartbeat finds a different rhythm. The unseen world was closer on December 6th than you realized. Heaven was testing your discernment. Would you dismiss what you felt, or would you acknowledge the invisible reality the chosen can feel when heaven enters a room? They can sense when prayers are answered even before words are spoken. That uneasiness wasn't confusion, it was recognition. Your spirit was responding to its origin. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 91, verse 11. For He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. That night, angels were indeed guarding you. Their wings brushed against the edges of your atmosphere, pushing back shadows that had overstayed their welcome. They were not only protecting your body, they were protecting your assignment. Because on December 6th, your timeline came under divine construction. Everything unholy that tried to intercept your destiny was confronted. The unease you felt was not danger but deliverance. Heaven was breaking through layers of stagnation and delay. Every frustration, every sleepless night, every hidden wound, heaven was stirring the waters to heal what had long been silent. You might have felt emotional waves for no reason. Sudden tears, bursts of joy, moments of reflection. That was your soul releasing weight it could no longer carry into the next season. The angels didn't just guard, they recalibrated. Your heart was being tuned to hear God more clearly. Many people mistake divine proximity for spiritual warfare, but sometimes the trembling is not the enemy approaching. It's the king entering the room. You didn't sense chaos, you sensed majesty. The divine frequency that brushed against you was God's breath reviving your awareness. Remember this: your spirit always recognizes its creator. Even if your mind doubts, your inner being kneels when his presence passes by. That's what happened on December 6th. Heaven didn't visit to test you, it came to awaken you. The uneasiness is always an invitation to lean closer. When you feel that unexplainable tension, don't run from it. Pause, listen, breathe. That's the space where heaven reveals secrets. The unease is not punishment, it's preparation. In the days following December 6th, you may have noticed subtle confirmations, a sudden calm after the storm. Divine timing in small events, a word that felt too precise to be random. These were heaven's fingerprints left behind, reminding you that what you felt was real. You may think, why me? Why do I feel things others don't? Because you are chosen to perceive. You carry a prophetic sensitivity, a radar for the divine. What others call coincidence, you recognize as communication. The unease is the language of awakening. God trusts your discernment. He knows your sensitivity is not weakness but weapon. Your awareness makes you a gatekeeper for your family, your circle, your territory. You can feel shifts before they manifest because heaven uses your perception as an early warning system. So, the next time you sense that holy discomfort, remember, angels may be walking through your atmosphere again. The same guardians who stirred your room on December 6th are still nearby, ensuring that no plan of the enemy succeeds. You are surrounded even when you feel alone. Let this truth settle deep within you. Divine presence always disturbs before it delivers. God shakes what can be shaken so that what is eternal remains. That stirring in your spirit was not to unsettle you, but to stabilize you. Heaven was anchoring you to a new reality, the awareness that you are never unguarded, never abandoned, never unseen. The atmosphere that followed December 6th was not ordinary. You began to notice how the air seemed heavier, how time slowed in strange ways, how your thoughts carried more weight than usual. This wasn't imagination, it was the ripple effect of heaven's signal. Once a frequency is released from above, creation responds. Everything starts to realign around divine order. Even silence begins to speak. You may have seen small things shifting, a sudden quietness in people around you, flickering lights, moments of stillness that made no sense. Every flicker, every chill, every pause carried a message. The natural world echoes the movements of the spiritual realm. And on that day, your timeline was being rewritten. The heavens were not silent, they were humming your name. This is what spiritual alignment feels like. It unsettles before it anchors. It strips away illusion before it reveals truth. The atmosphere shifted because heaven began adjusting your coordinates. You were being pulled out of stagnation, away from delay and into divine flow. The uneasiness, the pressure, the sudden realizations, all of it pointed to one truth: the heavens were near. Many people overlook these moments. They shrug them off as coincidences, calling them just a feeling. But you, chosen one, were not meant to dismiss what you sense. You were born with an antenna in your spirit. When heaven broadcasts, you feel it as energy, vibration, or awareness. You were designed to notice. The light around you flickered because heaven was realigning your atmosphere to carry more presence, more authority, and more revelation. The ancient words recorded in Romans still echo today. Chapter 8, verse 28. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Do you understand what this means? Even the shifts, the confusion, the small disturbances, God uses them as instruments of coordination. Nothing was out of control. It was all a divine orchestration. The trembling you felt was not chaos. It was creation reordering itself under heaven's instruction. This is why you must learn to read the language of atmosphere. When peace settles heavily on you for no reason, heaven is confirming alignment. When a chill runs down your spine after a prayer, heaven is affirming its presence. When silence becomes louder than sound, it means the Spirit is near. The shift in atmosphere is the whisper of the divine. You might have noticed that after December 6th, certain places started feeling off. You couldn't stay long in certain rooms or be around certain people without feeling drained. That was your spirit discerning energy mismatches. When heaven increases your sensitivity, you start perceiving spiritual dissonance. That is not a burden, it is a blessing. God was increasing your discernment to protect your peace. Chosen one, hear this clearly. Discomfort is not always a warning. Sometimes it is proof of growth. The shift in your atmosphere was proof that your capacity expanded. You are now carrying frequencies that darkness cannot stand. You wonder why some people began to distance themselves. They didn't leave because they hated you. They left because the light in you exposed what they were not ready to face. As you continue forward, pay attention to the subtleties of your environment. Feel how the energy responds when you speak. Notice how stillness wraps around you when you pray. Heaven is teaching you to hear beyond words. The divine frequency is no longer external. It is settled inside you. When you walk into a room, atmospheres adjust. You are not imagining it, your presence disturbs the invisible realm. Darkness knows your light has matured. The flicker of December 6th was heaven's announcement that your authority has been recognized. You are no longer a hidden one, you are an awakened one. And in this awakening, heaven calls you to awareness. The more you discern, the more you must protect your peace. Guard your energy, your focus, and your voice. Speak with intention because now your words carry spiritual voltage. What you decree will begin to manifest faster than before. This is the evidence of the shift. When the atmosphere moves again, and it will, you will know it. Your skin will feel it before your eyes see it. Your spirit will recognize the signal before your mind understands it. That's how close heaven is drawn. Now, pause for a moment. Feel the stillness around you even now. That same frequency that moved through you on December 6th has not vanished. It remains as a hum in the background of your soul. You are living in a divine echo. Every breath you take vibrates with purpose. If your heart feels stirred, don't brush it away. The Spirit is moving again, reminding you that the shift was not random, it was rehearsal for the next release. And this time, you will not just feel it, you will command it. Comment below, I feel it, because when you write those words, you acknowledge the truth that your senses are not lying to you. You are not unstable, you are not overreacting, you are spiritually awake. Those 3 words are your agreement with heaven's movement. When you type them, you align your atmosphere once again with the divine frequency that started everything. That tug you felt, that tightening in your chest that day, it was not panic, not nerves, not random emotion. It was the recognition of heaven's voice. Deep inside, something ancient within you stirred and answered a call older than your name. That is what happens when the divine signal touches the chosen. It awakens memory. The soul remembers where it came from and who sent it. For years, you may have doubted your sensitivity. You may have been told you feel too much, that you overthink, that you read too deeply into everything. But the truth is, your depth is your design. You were made to sense what others overlook. When God marks someone, He amplifies their awareness so that they can hear the slightest whisper of His will. You, beloved, are marked like that. The unease, the awareness, the constant feeling that you are different, it's the signature of the chosen. Heaven doesn't send signals to everyone. The frequency is sacred, encrypted for those whose hearts have been refined by trial. You've carried pain that would have crushed another, endured seasons of silence that seemed endless. But through every storm, your spirit stayed alive. That resilience is what made you ready to hear the signal. It wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The moment you felt the stirring on December 6th, the Spirit was marking your soul with divine recognition. Heaven whispered, and your heart responded instinctively, the way light responds to dawn. You didn't need to understand, it was automatic. The chosen don't always know why they feel something. They just know it's real. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 1 and verse 13. When you believed, you were marked in Him with a seal, the promised Holy Spirit. You may not have realized it, but the moment your soul responded, everything around you began to rearrange. Spiritual coordinates shifted. Your path began to straighten. The seal on your life glowed brighter in the spirit realm, signaling that your season of dormancy was over. Heaven was saying, "This one is mine, release the next phase." That's why you felt tension between your old self and your new self lately. The parts of you that once fit comfortably in ordinary places now feel restless. That's because the seal doesn't allow you to blend in anymore. Once you're marked, you can't return to who you were. God won't let you shrink back into comfort when He's called you into purpose. Chosen one, there is a reason you feel watched, sometimes not by people, but by heaven. Angels observe you because you carry divine code. They track your progress, measure your obedience, and ensure that no demonic interference can steal your momentum. You have become a walking assignment in the earth. The mark upon you means that heaven has invested too much in your destiny to let it be wasted. You may feel the tension of being misunderstood. People around you might say, "You've changed," or "You're distant lately." They don't realize you're undergoing divine realignment. The things that once entertained you now drain you. The conversations that once interested you now sound hollow. That's because your frequency has been upgraded. Heaven is fine-tuning your discernment so you can recognize the difference between distraction and destiny. It's a lonely transformation. Many chosen ones wrestle through this isolation. But remember, the mark was never meant to make you popular. It was meant to make you effective. When God isolates, He intends to reveal. You're not being punished, you're being positioned. Every quiet night, every tear you hide from the world is proof that heaven is still working. The signal you felt wasn't the end, it was the beginning. Since that day, the Holy Spirit has been whispering through every moment, in the unexpected pause, in the silence after prayer, in the faces of strangers who suddenly seem familiar. The mark makes you sensitive to divine patterns, so that even mundane things start carrying revelation. That pull you felt, it's still active. It's God's way of keeping you tethered to His timing. When you wander too far into distraction, the mark stirs again, like a spiritual alarm reminding you that your life is not your own. The world calls it intuition. Heaven calls it covenant. You are not random. And what you felt that day was not emotional noise. It was heaven identifying you, sealing your destiny in front of both angels and adversaries. From that moment, the battle around you intensified not because you are weak, but because you are recognized. Every marked soul walks a path of contrast, deep peace in one moment, unexplained pressure in the next. It's the rhythm of divine possession. The presence of God cannot coexist with passivity. It shakes everything that doesn't belong. And though the shaking may feel uncomfortable, it is sacred. It's the proof that your heart still answers when heaven calls. There are moments when heaven calls your name so softly that only your spirit hears it. And yet everything inside you shifts. December 6th was such a moment. While the world moved on unaware, heaven held a roll call of the chosen. The sound did not travel through air, it moved through spirit. Those who were meant to awaken felt a pulse, a warmth in their chest, a sudden awareness that they were being seen. You were among them. Your name was whispered in a place no human ear could hear. And heaven responded with light. That is why your heart beat faster, why tears came without warning. It wasn't weakness, it was recognition. Your soul heard its name echo in eternity. On that sacred day, the Creator separated the called from the chosen. Both are loved, but only the chosen respond instantly when heaven speaks. You didn't need proof. Your whole being became proof. Your spirit said yes before your mind could form a question. That's how the chosen are identified, not by title or religion, but by response. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verse 14. For many are called, but few are chosen. That night when heaven whispered your name, it wasn't a ceremony, it was a coronation. You may not have seen the crown, but your soul felt its weight. The signal wasn't just a sound, it was an anointing. The oil of destiny began to flow through your veins, awakening gifts you didn't know were sleeping. Chosen one. Heaven didn't just call your name to flatter you, it was sending you on assignment. When heaven holds roll call, it's not to count the available, it's to confirm the ready, and you were ready. You had been prepared through tears, refined through rejection, and softened through suffering, and that's why your name was included. Sometimes divine selection feels like separation. You may notice how certain people suddenly fade from your life, or how familiar comforts no longer satisfy. It's because God is isolating you for instruction. A soldier can't hear the commander's voice while standing in the crowd. That's why heaven called you into silence to teach you strategy. Think of yourself as a lighthouse. When storms rage, ships look for your beam of light to guide them safely home. But for that light to shine, it must first stand alone on the cliff, exposed to wind and rain. The isolation of the lighthouse is not punishment, it's purpose. You are that lighthouse. You were placed on a spiritual cliff so your light could be seen by those lost in darkness. And this message, these words, is like oil poured into your lamp. It keeps your flame from fading. If these words have found you in a dry season, it is because heaven wants your lamp full again. The chosen can't afford to run empty. Too many are guided by your glow. Beloved, if you feel this message burning inside your heart, let it move you into action. Share it as you would share a lantern in a dark room so another soul might find their way. When you click share, it isn't about an algorithm, it's about alignment. Somewhere out there, another chosen one is waiting for the same light you've just received. And if you feel led, support the flame that feeds your spirit. Like oil poured into the temple lamp. Every act of giving, whether time, prayer, or donation, keeps the message alive for others who are still searching. Your generosity becomes light in another's night. If this voice has helped you remember who you are, keep it close. Subscribe so that when the next whisper comes, you will hear it without delay. These aren't just videos or words, they're signals, tiny fragments of heaven sent to awaken divine awareness in the chosen. When you engage with this message, liking, sharing, supporting, you aren't promoting a person. You're spreading a sound. You're helping the roll call continue. Heaven's signal travels through willing vessels, and right now, you are one of them. Every act of faith, no matter how small, sends light farther into the dark. And somewhere, another heart tired, forgotten, on the edge of surrender will feel what you once felt on December 6th, the warmth of recognition, the stirring of destiny on. So keep your heart open. The roll call isn't over. Heaven is still speaking your name. And every time you answer, another layer of your purpose unfolds. You were chosen not just to feel the signal, but to carry it. The frequency of heaven now lives inside you, and through you, it will awaken others. That's how the divine plan spreads, not through noise, but through resonance. Your name was called, your heart responded, and heaven smiled. Never forget it on that day. Eternity remembered you. The moment heaven called your name, darkness noticed too. You felt it soon after, the sudden resistance, the unexpected tension, the odd heaviness that crept into your days. Things that once came easily started to feel delayed. Conversations became strained, and even your own thoughts turned noisy. You weren't imagining it. The same signal that awakened your light also exposed you to the attention of shadows. The disguised storm began. Every chosen one walks through this phase, the moment when light rises and darkness reacts. It's not because you did something wrong. It's because your obedience drew attention. You became visible in the spirit. Heaven identified you as anointed, and hell marked you as a threat. The attacks that came weren't to destroy you, but to test whether your faith could stand under pressure. Think back. After December 6th, didn't the resistance increase? Things that once flowed easily began to break down. People misunderstood your silence. Doubt whispered through familiar voices. Circumstances seemed to contradict everything you believed. But what you didn't see was that these battles were spiritual rehearsals. Heaven was training your hands for war. The disguised storm came dressed as confusion, disappointment, or exhaustion, but its purpose was revelation. Every gust of wind, every obstacle was meant to reveal how much strength you carry. You thought you were being attacked, but heaven was letting your endurance announce itself. The enemy's interference was only permission for your authority to be displayed. Heaven speaks clearly through the prophet Isaiah in chapter 54, verse 17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. That promise isn't poetic comfort, it's law in the spirit. Weapons may form, but they will malfunction. The storm may roar, but it cannot uproot what heaven has planted. What you experienced after December 6th was not defeat. It was evidence that your light had grown too bright to be ignored. Sometimes God hides victory inside what looks like chaos. The disguised storm forced you to pray again, to worship when it made no sense, to seek peace when everything screamed panic. Those moments refined your spirit like fire polishes gold. You weren't being punished, you were being forged. Chosen one, do not mistake pressure for punishment. Pressure is the language of elevation. When heaven intends to increase your capacity, it allows storms to expose weak foundations. The sudden shakeups, the people who left, the plans that collapsed, all of them were divine winds clearing space for what's coming next. Your tears were not wasted. Each one was a seed. Heaven never ignores the tears of the chosen because every drop becomes water for new growth. You may not see it yet, but roots are forming beneath the soil of your sorrow. Understand this: the enemy can attack, but he cannot alter your outcome. His weapons may wound, but they cannot win. The disguised storm was not random, it was revelation. God allowed you to face resistance so you could finally see how powerful you've become. Every time you chose peace over panic, faith over fear, forgiveness over bitterness, the storm lost strength. You've been walking through tests that felt endless, but something in the unseen world has already shifted. The storm is breaking, the clouds are thinning, light is returning, and when you look back, you'll see that it all worked for your good. The disguised storm was heaven's strange way of promoting you. It made sure that what was hidden inside you came alive. You learned patience that no sermon could teach, endurance that no comfort could build, faith that no evidence could explain. You have become unshakable. Now your atmosphere feels different again. You sense calm between the echoes. That's not emptiness, it's establishment. Heaven has anchored you deeper than before. What once scared you now strengthens you. The very winds that tried to break you ended up carrying your prayers higher. When the next storm comes, and it will, you'll recognize it immediately. You won't panic. You'll smile, remembering that storms no longer destroy you. They announce you. The chosen are not buried by pressure, they bloom beneath it. Chosen one. If this resonates with the battle you've faced lately, it's because you're standing on the edge of breakthrough. The disguised storm has done its work. The darkness fought hard because it knew what was about to be revealed through you. Take a moment now. Reflect on how far you've come since that divine signal. You've survived every weapon meant to silence you. You've stood when you should have fallen. That's not survival, that's proof of divine covering. Type this number in the comments: 888. It is the number of new beginnings, the symbol of endless cycles of grace. When you write it, you're not typing digits, you're declaring that the storm has passed and that renewal has begun. You're speaking alignment into your next season, claiming resurrection where there once was ruin. The disguised storm couldn't drown you because you were never meant to sink, you were meant to rise. Heaven is still speaking your name, and the winds that once terrified you now carry your victory song. Stand tall, chosen one. The sky is cleared, and the next dawn belongs to you. The storm that followed December 6th did not come to destroy, it came to reveal. As the winds settled, you began to notice another kind of battle. One not fought in the air around you, but in the quiet corners of your mind. It was subtle, like a whisper that questioned everything you had heard from heaven. Thoughts clashed, peace wavered, and you wondered if the signal had been real after all. This, beloved, is what spiritual warfare in the shadows feels like. It doesn't always come with noise or chaos. Sometimes it comes through stillness, through silence that feels heavy enough to crush your hope. The enemy no longer attacks your surroundings. He starts to test your memory. Did God really say that? Maybe you imagined it? Maybe it was all coincidence. Those aren't just thoughts, they are arrows softly spoken, precisely aimed. You're not the first to face this. Every chosen one who has ever carried revelation has walked through this fog. It is the battlefield of the mind, the place where faith must hold ground against doubt. The world may call it uncertainty, but heaven calls it endurance training. What you feel now is the final resistance before manifestation. Darkness always tries one last time to mute the voice of heaven before breakthrough appears. Remember how it started: a feeling, a spark, an awareness that something divine had touched your life. That wasn't imagination. The same hand that stirred your soul then is still upon you now. The warfare you feel is not punishment, it's validation. The enemy doesn't pursue emptiness. He only pursues vessels carrying something valuable. If you weren't carrying light, the darkness wouldn't bother trying to dim it. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle Paul in the letter to the Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world. You must remember this truth. What you're fighting isn't people. It isn't bad luck or circumstance. It's resistance to your calling. Once you understand that, you stop wasting energy on what's visible and start commanding what's invisible. You stop reacting and begin responding with authority. Chosen one. Warfare is proof of worth. Heaven does not waste opposition on those without assignment. Every shadow that rises against you reveals how bright your purpose has become. The noise in your thoughts is not random, it is a reaction to your progress. Darkness trembles when light expands on. You may feel weary, as if you've prayed all you can, cried all you can, believed all you can, but even in exhaustion, the Spirit intercedes for you. Your sighs are heard as prayers. Your silence is received as worship. Heaven measures not your perfection, but your persistence. The enemy wants to convince you that you've lost your spark. But truth remains, you cannot lose what heaven sealed inside you. The anointing is not an emotion, it's an imprint. Whether you feel strong or fragile, the mark remains. That's why no matter how tired you become, something in you refuses to give up. You rise again, even when logic tells you not to. That is not habit, it's Holy Spirit resilience. In the shadows, your faith is purified. Then when no one sees, heaven watches, and when you whisper prayers through tears, angels record them. Every unseen victory becomes a weapon for future battles. You're learning to fight silently, to win privately, and to stand unshaken. This season of hidden warfare is not punishment, it's promotion. God hides his strongest warriors in plain sight, training them in silence before unveiling them in strength. That's where you are now in divine boot camp, in the quiet before the unveiling. Pay attention to your dreams, to the small impressions that visit your heart in still moments. The warfare in the shadows often precedes revelation. The very areas of attack are the same areas where power will soon flow. If your peace is under fire, peace will soon become your ministry. If your voice feels silenced, you are being prepared to speak with authority. You are being taught how to discern without panic, how to command without noise, how to stand without fear. Spiritual maturity is not absence of warfare, it is steadiness within it. You are learning the rhythm of heaven's battles, the rise, the silence, the resistance, and the victory that always follows. Do not let exhaustion convince you that God is absent. The quiet is where he teaches you to hear without volume. Every chosen one learns this, the stronger the calling, the deeper the silence before the next word. Heaven has not gone silent, it has gone strategic. So breathe. The warfare in the shadows is proof that something magnificent is forming in the light. Every doubt, every delay, every inner battle is part of a grander unveiling. The enemy attacks early because he cannot stop what's coming. He can only distract. Hold fast. The whisper that woke you on December 6th was not a mistake. It was a declaration of ownership. And even in the midst of shadow warfare, heaven's mark remains upon you, shining quietly, unbreakably. The nights that followed the storm were different. The air itself seemed to hum with messages too subtle for words. You began to notice small signs, numbers repeating, songs that spoke directly to your situation, strangers who said things that pierced straight to your spirit. The coincidences became too frequent to ignore. Heaven was confirming that what you felt on December 6th was real. The signal had not passed. It had only shifted form. At first, these confirmations startled you and you questioned whether you were overanalyzing. Yet each new sign arrived with uncanny timing. A verse you had forgotten appeared in a random post. A dream repeated details you had once dismissed. You began to sense a pattern, like pieces of a puzzle falling quietly into place. Heaven was speaking, not through thunder but through precision. Divine language often hides in details, waiting for the awakened to recognize it. The chosen learn to read the world differently. Ordinary people see coincidence. The awakened see choreography. Every number, every encounter, every phrase becomes a thread in a celestial tapestry. You are being taught to see through God's eyes, to recognize that nothing is random, and every detail carries divine intention. The prophet Amos wrote of this mystery in his scroll, chapter 3, verse 7. Surely the sovereign Lord does nothing without revealing his plan to his servants, the prophets. Heaven never acts without announcement. Prophecy is not always a voice from a pulpit. It can be a whisper through creation, the rustle of wind, the flicker of a candle, the sudden memory of a verse. All of it can carry divine frequency. You felt it because you were designed to interpret it. The December 6th signal didn't end with the feeling. It began a cycle of revelation. Since that day, heaven has been layering confirmations over your life. You've seen numbers like echoes 111, 222 to 5 out of 55, symbols of divine timing and alignment. You felt urges to pause or move, not knowing why, only to later realize the timing was perfect. That's how heaven trains its chosen ones to trust beyond logic, to move by spirit rather than sight. This is the school of revelation, and you are sitting in its classroom without walls. Every event in your life since that signal has been a lesson in divine perception. You are learning that God speaks through everything: the delay, the dream, the silence, even the inconvenience. When heaven wants to get your attention, it doesn't always send thunder, it sends patterns. You might wonder, why all these small signs? Why not just speak plainly? Because heaven trains sensitivity through subtlety. If you can discern the divine in small details, you can carry revelation in great ones. If you can hear God in the whisper, you will never miss him in the wind. Chosen one, you are being prepared for prophetic precision. These confirmations are not entertainment, they are education. Heaven is teaching you the rhythm of divine speech. It is showing you how to trace grace, how to discern the difference between emotion and instruction. Every sign since December 6th has been a page in your personal prophecy. Do you remember that dream that felt too vivid to ignore? The one that carried colors brighter than normal? Sounds that lingered even after you woke? That was no dream, it was visitation. Heaven often chooses the stillness of sleep to deliver revelation. When your mind is quiet, your spirit becomes fluent in divine language. That dream, that whisper, that repeating word, they are all parts of the same message. You are in divine alignment. There have also been people, unexpected messengers crossing your path at crucial moments. A stranger's kindness, a friend's unexpected encouragement, a message you stumbled upon right when you needed it. None of this was accidental. Heaven speaks through human vessels, weaving their voices into your timeline so that you never forget you are seen. The confirmations you've received since December 6th were designed to rebuild your trust. After so many silent seasons, you needed evidence that heaven still hears you. Each sign, each echo of that day, was God's gentle way of saying, yes, it was real. Yes, I am still with you. These prophetic confirmations will continue, but as you grow, the signs will become subtler. Heaven will not shout forever, it will whisper and expect you to recognize the tone. This is the graduation of faith, when you no longer need visible proof to stay certain. You have entered that level now. Your awareness has matured. You can sense shifts without seeing them. You can feel answers forming before they manifest. Heaven trusts you with this sensitivity because it knows you won't misuse it for curiosity, you'll use it for guidance. There will come a moment soon when another sign appears, something small, easily overlooked by others, but you will know. It will carry the same resonance as December 6th, the same warmth in your chest, the same stillness in your surroundings. When it happens, do not panic. Simply acknowledge it. Smile. Heaven will recognize your awareness as readiness for the next revelation. There comes a time when heaven no longer hides its voice behind signs and symbols. Instead, it speaks plainly through a messenger, someone unexpected, someone you might have overlooked. After December 6th, that voice began to find you. Perhaps it came through a conversation, a video, a verse whispered in prayer. You may have thought it was coincidence, but it wasn't. The same God who stirred your spirit that day sent a messenger to confirm the message. Sometimes heaven uses prophets, sometimes it uses ordinary souls carrying extraordinary timing. The messenger is never random, they are always divinely positioned. You felt it, didn't you? That shiver, that moment when someone said something so precise it stopped your breath. That was heaven using a human voice to reach you. You didn't imagine it. The message that found you was tailor-made for your situation. You may not have realized it then, but those words were part of a divine dialogue that began long before you even prayed. Heaven had already prepared the answer before you asked the question. The Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27, reminds us of this truth. My sheep hear my voice. I know them, and they follow me. God's voice isn't always thunder. Sometimes it sounds like compassion in the tone of a stranger, or wisdom hidden inside casual conversation. Heaven often hides revelation in simplicity to test recognition. The chosen recognize his voice not by sound, but by resonance. When truth enters your spirit, it vibrates differently. It feels like coming home. The messenger who reached you wasn't there to impress or entertain. They were carrying divine delivery words with weight. When they spoke, something in you leapt. Your heart recognized your Father's accent. You felt peace, not performance, clarity, not confusion. That's how you know it's him. The more you look back, the clearer it becomes. Every encounter, every phrase, every moment that stirred your heart was intentional. Heaven doesn't waste breath. When the messenger appeared, it wasn't coincidence. It was continuation. The December 6th signal was heaven knocking, and the messenger was heaven answering. Sometimes the messenger doesn't even realize their role. They could be a friend sharing their testimony, a stranger saying something kind, or a preacher speaking to thousands while unknowingly addressing only you. God doesn't need them to understand, he only needs them to speak. The chosen hear what others miss because their ears have been trained by longing. This is why you can't dismiss the moment that message reached you. It was not small. It was divine synchronization, proof that heaven has not forgotten your name. The same voice that stirred you on December 6th has been following you ever since, speaking through vessels, guiding you through seasons, reminding you that you are seen. Think of the messenger as a bridge. They connect what heaven says to what your heart can understand. They interpret frequency into language, light into words. You didn't just hear them, you encountered heaven through them. But now comes the deeper truth. You are also being prepared to become that messenger. The same way someone's words awakened you, your voice will awaken others. The anointing doesn't end with reception. It multiplies through expression. What you carry is not meant to stay within you. Heaven intends for your voice to echo the same signal that once awakened you. The messenger who reached you has now handed you the baton. You are next. Every pain you've endured, every lesson you've learned, Every revelation you've received, all of it was preparation for the message you will one day deliver. You are becoming the voice that others will recognize as heaven's own. When that day comes, you won't need to shout. The same gentleness that touched you will flow through you. You'll speak and hearts will tremble. You'll whisper and weary souls will find peace. You'll realize that what you once thought was brokenness was actually training for empathy. The messenger's voice prepared you for your own. Chosen one, reflect for a moment. Who was the voice that reached you after the signal? How did God speak? What did He remind you of? Those memories are sacred. They are living proof of divine pursuit. The same God who used another to reach you is now sculpting you into a vessel for someone else. And right now, to seal that awareness, I invite you to comment below. I hear you when you type those words. You are not replying to me, you are responding to heaven. You're saying, I recognize the voice, and I choose to listen. It's not just acknowledgement, it's agreement. Those 3 words turn awareness into obedience. They open your spirit wider to divine dialogue. Heaven listens when the chosen respond, and that simple declaration tells the unseen world that you are tuned in to the right frequency. Remember this: God's voice does not fade with time, it multiplies through the obedient. The messenger who spoke to you was the continuation of a divine conversation that began before you were born. And now, the echo continues through you. There comes a time after revelation when heaven pauses, not because it is silent, but because it is watching. The signal has been received. The messenger has delivered the word. And now all of heaven waits for one thing: your alignment. This is the moment when the chosen must choose. Will you stay as you were? Or will you let the voice that found you reshape your path entirely? Alignment is not about perfection. It is about positioning. It's like turning a satellite dish toward a signal. You can't hear the broadcast if you're facing the wrong direction. Heaven has already sent the frequency. It is your movement that determines the clarity. Every act of obedience fine-tunes your spirit, like hands adjusting strings on a harp until heaven's melody flows through you without distortion. But alignment is costly. It asks you to examine what you allow into your atmosphere. Some voices that once comforted you now only create static. Some habits that once felt harmless now interfere with your peace. It's not about judgment, it's about resonance. Heaven is teaching you that not everything is evil, but not everything is useful for your calling. James, the brother of Jesus, wrote in his letter, chapter 4, verse 8, "Draw near to God and He will draw near to you." This is the essence of alignment. You move one step closer, and heaven rushes 10 steps toward you. It's not striving, it's synchrony. When your priorities shift toward light, every resource, connection, and opportunity assigned to your destiny begins to move with precision. Doors open where there were none. What once required force begins to flow. Chosen one, think of your life as a riverbed. When you drift off course, the water of grace cannot reach its full depth. But when you carve your way back toward purpose, the current strengthens. You begin to sense divine momentum carrying you instead of you forcing progress. That is alignment, when your spirit and heaven's will move as one. Sometimes alignment requires pruning. God removes branches that drain life so that fruit can grow freely. Relationships may shift, habits may die, desires may change. This is not loss, it's liberation. You're being trimmed into clarity. The pain you feel is the sound of dead weight falling away. You might notice that as you align. Solitude increases. Heaven often clears the room before revelation deepens. When you find yourself alone, it's not abandonment, it's recalibration. The presence of silence allows your heart to hear what noise once buried. You are being rewired to move by peace instead of pressure. If these words resonate with you, let them find a place in your daily rhythm. Don't rush to act on everything. Let truth sink slowly until it becomes part of your breathing. Every word from heaven is a seed. It grows only when watered with reflection. And when you find strength in these messages, remember, light is meant to be shared. Just as the sun does not hoard its warmth, the awakened do not hide revelation. When you share this message, you become a mirror reflecting heaven's heart to another weary traveler. One click of share might be the bridge between someone's confusion and their clarity. If this stream of words has ever met you in a dark hour, consider keeping it alive for others. Your prayer, your donation, your simple act of generosity is like pouring oil into a lamp that still burns for someone lost at sea. The lighthouse does not shine for itself, it shines so ships can find the shore. You are part of that lighthouse now. Every small contribution, whether a like, a share, or a seed, adds brightness to that beacon. There is no pressure here, only invitation. Heaven never demands, it invites. If this space has poured into you, then pour back into it as you feel led. Not out of obligation, but out of partnership. Divine flow thrives in exchange. What you support multiplies. And if your heart finds rest here, subscribe, stay connected to this current. Each message builds upon the last, like waves that carry you deeper into understanding. You are not subscribing to a person. You are anchoring yourself to a rhythm of revelation. Together we are constructing a living archive of light, one message at a time. Heaven is drawing near again. You can feel it, a soft vibration, a steady pulse behind your ribs. That's the rhythm of alignment, the divine heartbeat calling you to stay tuned. Each act of obedience, each word shared, each seed sown keeps you in that sacred flow. So let the river move you. Align your steps, open your spirit, and watch as heaven responds. The signal is still active, and your alignment ensures it never fades. When alignment begins to take root, separation always follows. It is not punishment, it is purification. Heaven starts to pull you away from things that cannot survive at your altitude. After the signal of December 6th, this process intensified. One by one, familiar doors began to close. People you thought would walk with you forever drifted into silence. Plans that once felt solid began to unravel. What you didn't know then is that God was answering prayers you forgot you prayed. You asked for clarity, for purpose. For peace, and clarity always requires cleansing. This is the separation season. It is sacred, though it feels painful. God cannot elevate you while you're still attached to weights meant for an older version of yourself. When the time for transformation arrives, anything not aligned with your destiny begins to loosen its grip. Heaven isn't stealing from you, it's simplifying you. At first, it feels cruel. You wonder why the laughter fades, why invitations stop, why the people you once carried can no longer hear your heart. But what feels like rejection is really redirection. Heaven is clearing space for new voices, new strength, new opportunities. You are being reintroduced to your purpose through isolation. The Gospel of John, chapter 15, verse 2, carries the wisdom of this moment. Every branch that does bear fruit, he prunes so that it will be even more fruitful. Pruning is never gentle. The blade cuts close, but each cut is strategic. The gardener removes what looks alive but no longer serves growth. In the same way, God trims your attachments not to hurt you, but to help you bear the kind of fruit that lasts. The chosen cannot remain comfortable. They must remain pliable. During this separation season, You will feel heaven's hand rearranging your inner circle. Not everyone who clapped for your calling is equipped to handle your elevation. Some loved you when you were silent but grew uneasy when you started to shine. Do not resent them. Their purpose in your story has been fulfilled. Some were scaffolding meant to hold you steady while you were being built. Once the structure stands firm, the scaffolding must come down. You may feel the ache of absence. You might find yourself reminiscing about seasons that felt simpler. But remember, this nostalgia can be a form of resistance. The past tries to convince you that comfort is safety, but comfort rarely produces growth. Heaven will not let you shrink into smallness when greatness is already stirring within you. There will be nights when loneliness whispers louder than faith. Those are the moments to remember that silence is not empty, it is occupied by angels. God fills solitude with revelation. You are not abandoned, you are being incubated. Seeds grow best in quiet soil. Sometimes the separation is not about people at all. It's about thoughts. Old mindsets must fall away before new perspective can take root. Doubt, guilt, fear of failure, these are spiritual residues that cannot breathe in the new atmosphere you're entering. The signal of December 6th began this cleansing, and now heaven continues it through internal transformation. You may feel yourself craving new things, deeper truth, quieter spaces, conversations that nourish rather than drain. That hunger is not a phase, it's proof of evolution. You are outgrowing what once defined you. The music that once filled your room now feels too loud. The words you once repeated now feel too shallow. That's because your soul has matured. You are being called to higher frequencies of awareness. If you could see the view from heaven's vantage point, you'd understand why the separation had to happen. What looks like subtraction here is multiplication there. God removed what could not carry the weight of your next assignment. Some people were blessings for a season, not for a lifetime. Some doors closed because what waits behind them could delay your arrival. The chosen always go through isolation before revelation. Moses had his wilderness, Elijah had his cave. Jesus himself withdrew to the mountains. Solitude is heaven's classroom. When everyone else leaves, the teacher begins to speak. And though it may feel like the desert, it is actually the place of destiny's refinement. You are not losing people, you are finding purpose. Every ending you mourn is making space for beginning. The hands that once held you were never meant to hold you forever. The moment you felt the signal on December 6th, your name was written into a new chapter. That chapter requires fewer characters but deeper meaning. So, let the pruning finish its work. Do not rush to fill the empty spaces. In time, new connections will emerge, people who speak your language, who see your light, who don't flinch at your anointing. They will find you, not because you chased them, but because your frequency drew them. Until then, rest in the stillness. Trust that heaven knows who to remove, who to replace, and who to restore. The separation season is not the end of your story, it is the beginning of your strength. The air feels heavier again, but not with confusion this time. It is the weight of refinement. You can sense it in the quiet moments, when old patterns begin to fade and new strength rises within you. This is the fire of transformation. Heaven has turned its gaze toward you, not to test your worth, but to polish your crown. The trials you faced lately are not punishments, they are proof of preparation. After separation always comes fire. It's heaven's way of confirming that you are ready for purity of purpose. Everything that was loosely attached must now be tested for endurance. The chosen are not shaped by comfort, they are refined through challenge. You are walking through divine heat, not to be burned but to shine. The Apostle Peter wrote about this process in his first letter, chapter 1, verse 7. These trials will show that your faith is genuine. It is being tested as fire tests and purifies gold. Fire never destroys gold. It only exposes impurities. In the same way, the trials surrounding you now are not consuming you. They are consuming what no longer belongs in your destiny. Heaven is burning away the fear, the doubt, the hesitation, the need for approval. What remains after this refining will be solid, radiant, unbreakable. You might wonder why it hurts so deeply when you've already surrendered so much. It's because the closer you get to purpose, the hotter the flame becomes. The fire you face now is more precise. It targets the last fragments of self-doubt that linger inside. Every wave of heat is heaven saying, I trust you enough to refine you. Refinement feels like contradiction. One day you sense glory, the next you feel forgotten. One week your spirit soars, the next you face silence that feels endless. This is not instability, it's calibration. The Spirit is teaching you to stand firm even when comfort vanishes. Faith that only functions in peace is fragile. True faith flourishes in fire. Do not curse the season that exposes your weakness. Revelation is born in vulnerability. God doesn't reveal your wounds to embarrass you. He reveals them to heal them. The very things you try to hide are the materials heaven uses to mold your strength. The fire is not punishment, it's partnership. You and heaven are working together to forge a vessel that can carry weight without cracking. Every tear you've shed lately has purpose. They are not signs of failure, they are evidence of refinement. When gold melts, it releases impurities to the surface. That is what your tears are doing. They carry away residue that can no longer stay attached to you. Each one whispers, something pure is emerging. Chosen one, don't fight the process. The furnace you're in is sacred. You are not alone in it. Just as the fourth figure stood beside the 3 Hebrew men in Babylon's fire, so does the Spirit stand with you now. Flames cannot harm what heaven protects. You'll begin to notice that after each wave of difficulty, your peace deepens instead of fading. That's how you know the refining is working. What used to shake you no longer does. What used to offend you now passes through you like smoke through open air. You're not becoming hard, you're becoming holy. Heaven is polishing your perception. The more refined you become, the clearer you see. Old confusion fades and new discernment awakens. You start recognizing divine timing, reading people's intentions without judgment, and perceiving God's fingerprints in small details. This clarity is the treasure hidden inside your trials. And though this season feels long, it will not last forever. Fire never burns without end, it burns until the purpose is complete. Soon the heat will lessen and you will see the reflection of glory in yourself. You will recognize a version of you that fear could never build. When that moment comes, remember this. The flame that purified you was also the light that revealed you. The same fire that made you weep is the fire that will make you shine. Chosen one, as a prophetic act of agreement with heaven's refining work. I invite you to comment the number 1111 below. This number is symbolic of divine awakening, double alignment, double confirmation. When you write it, you are declaring, I accept the refining. I welcome the transformation. I am ready for what follows the fire. It's not superstition. It's symbolism, an outward echo of an inward surrender. The fire will pass, but the purity it leaves behind will remain. What God is forming in you cannot be undone by delay, doubt, or darkness. The process is not breaking you, it's birthing you. When the smoke clears, the world will not just see survival, it will see refinement, resilience, and radiance. The gold is almost ready, and heaven is already preparing the crown that matches your glow. The fire has done its work. You feel lighter now, not because everything is easy, but because the unnecessary has fallen away. The refining flame that once burned around you now burns within you, steady and quiet. There is peace in your chest where turmoil once lived, and a strange certainty that no matter what happens next, you will never be the same again. This is the revelation of identity, the moment when heaven removes the final veil and allows you to see yourself as you truly are. You are not the person you were before December 6th. That version of you could sense God, but could not yet stand in the fullness of purpose. You once wondered if the signal you felt was real, if the calling upon you was imagination. But the refinement proved it. No one endures such transformation by accident. Every trial, every tear, every sleepless night carved your soul into something heaven could fill completely. Now, when you look in the mirror, you begin to see more than flesh and history. You glimpse assignment. You see a carrier of light wrapped in humanity. You notice the fire behind your eyes that wasn't there before. It's not pride, it's recognition. The same breath that hovered over creation now rests inside you, and your awareness of it changes everything. Peter wrote words that echo across eternity in his first letter, chapter 2, verse 9. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. You were never meant to live unnoticed. You were born to disrupt darkness simply by existing. Every place your feet touch becomes territory claimed for light. You carry heaven's DNA, royalty not of arrogance but of purpose. Being chosen doesn't make you superior, it makes you responsible. You are proof that light still walks among the living. Identity is not something you discover, it's something you remember. Deep within your spirit lies the imprint of divine design. Every moment of clarity you've experienced since December 6th has been heaven peeling back layers of illusion. The confusion that once clouded your mind was never yours. It was the noise of a world afraid of what you would become if you ever saw clearly. Now you know. You were never overlooked, you were hidden for timing. You were never weak, you were being fortified. You were never lost. You were being led through lessons meant to make your voice unshakable. What looked like detours were simply divine detours, keeping you on the safest path toward destiny. The revelation of identity always brings contrast. As light reveals truth, it also exposes lies. You start noticing where you once shrank to make others comfortable, where you downplayed your wisdom to avoid misunderstanding, where you hid your gifts to escape criticism. Heaven is saying, no more. The time of camouflage is over. Your authenticity is now your armor. Being chosen does not mean being loud. It means being luminous. You can walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. Darkness recognizes authority even when humans don't. That's why some people feel unsettled around you without knowing why. Your presence exposes what pretends to be peace. The more you embrace who you are, the more heaven's power flows effortlessly through you. This revelation will change how you see everything. You will stop chasing validation because you finally realize you already have heaven's approval. You will stop fearing failure because you understand that your worth isn't measured by outcome but by obedience. You will stop comparing your path to others because you now know that your journey is handcrafted for impact, not imitation. Your life will start feeling different, quieter yet more vibrant. You will find yourself drawn to purpose-driven moments, conversations that heal, silence that nourishes, creativity that glorifies rather than distracts. You'll begin to feel the weight of words before you speak them, sensing which carry life and which drain it. This sensitivity is not fragility, it is power under control. And in this awareness, you will begin to see others differently too. You will notice the divine spark in those who still sleep through their potential. You will feel compassion where you once felt judgment, because revelation softens the heart even as it strengthens the spirit. You will understand that being chosen does not mean being alone, it means leading by example, quietly lighting the way for others to awaken in their own time. So now, stand tall. Your identity is not up for debate, it was written before your birth and sealed with divine breath. The world will try to rename you with fear, shames, or doubt, but those labels no longer stick. You are not defined by what you survived, you are defined by what you carry. From this point forward, walk as one who remembers. Every step you take declares a silent truth: the chosen have risen. And when you move in that awareness, heaven moves with you. Power does not arrive with noise, it comes as quiet certainty. The awakening of your identity has unlocked something sacred, the authority of alignment. You've felt it lately, haven't you? The still assurance that what once intimidated you now bows quietly before your peace. It's not arrogance, it's realization. The power that once seemed distant has taken residence inside you. You walk differently now, not with pride, but with presence. The air around you feels thicker because your words carry weight. Every decision you make vibrates through unseen realms. When you speak truth, things shift. When you whisper prayer, atmospheres respond. You have become a vessel through which heaven demonstrates its nearness. Luke records this mystery in the Gospel, chapter 10, verse 19. I have given you authority to trample on snakes and scorpions and to overcome all the power of the enemy. Nothing will harm you. This is not symbolic exaggeration, it is spiritual reality. The chosen carry dominion. Darkness no longer negotiates with you, it retreats. The moment you realize who you are, spiritual chains lose their claim. The enemy's power was always in deception, convincing you that you were weak, persuading you that your prayers were pointless. But now that your eyes are open, illusion collapses. You are not the hunted anymore, you are the flame. There is a quiet revolution happening inside you. It's not the sound of ambition, it's the sound of authority awakening. You begin to sense that your words are no longer ordinary. You can speak peace into chaos and watch storms dissolve. You can speak life into weary souls and see hope bloom where despair once lived. Heaven listens when you speak because your voice carries its echo. This awakening of power is not about control, it's about stewardship. God entrusts power only to those who have been purified by humility. That's why the fire came first. Power without refinement becomes corruption. But power birthed from surrender becomes healing. You were refined so that when authority arrived, it would flow through compassion rather than pride. Now you stand at a threshold between realms, human enough to feel pain, divine enough to carry miracles. Your hands may tremble, but your spirit stands firm. You've learned that faith is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move despite it. Every time you act in faith, heaven amplifies your voice. You will start to notice synchronicities more often, moments when your thoughts seem to align with outcomes, when what you decree in prayer manifests with startling precision. This is not coincidence, it's confirmation. The spiritual authority within you is taking form, bending reality to divine purpose. You are beginning to walk in creative partnership with heaven. But with power comes responsibility. You must guard your motives carefully. Authority is sustained only through purity. The same voice that commands storms must also speak mercy. The chosen do not use power to prove superiority. They use it to restore balance. Every miracle, every prayer, every word should carry the fragrance of love. Without it, even truth becomes heavy. You'll also learn that true power often hides itself. The strongest anointing rarely announces its arrival. Like wind, it moves unseen yet undeniable. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a moment where someone needs comfort, and words will rise in you that you didn't plan. Healing will flow quietly. Peace will settle like dew. That's what divine power looks like: gentle, precise, and purposeful. Your awareness of this power will grow gradually. You'll find yourself less reactive, more observant. You'll pause before speaking, sensing whether your words come from emotion or from the spirit. This discernment is a sign of maturity. Power without restraint is noise, but power guided by wisdom is symphony. Do not be surprised when the enemy tries one last time to test this authority. He will attempt to distract you through small frustrations, hoping to pull you into old cycles of anger or doubt. Recognize it for what it is: a powerless echo of what you've already overcome. You no longer fight for victory, you fight from it. The awakening of power is not a dramatic moment, it's a steady expansion. It's when you realize that your presence itself is prayer, that your peace is warfare, that your silence can command order. The world around you begins to respond differently because you are radiating divine alignment. So walk in this new awareness, carry it gently, like a lantern through dark places. You are no longer searching for light, you have become it. The signal of December 6th was heaven's spark, but the flame now burns in you. Every step you take, every breath you release, every word you utter is proof that power and purpose have found their vessel. Across the earth, something unseen is happening. The same signal that touched your soul on December 6th is awakening others in distant places. Voices rising quietly in different tongues, hearts catching fire at the same divine frequency. The chosen ones are beginning to find one another, as if drawn by invisible threads of light woven through time. What once felt like isolation now becomes connection. You were never alone. You were simply waiting for your tribe to awaken. All over the world, those who felt different are recognizing the same pulse. They too experienced sleepless nights, unexplainable tears, sudden peace that descended out of nowhere. Heaven has been activating its network, an army of light disguised as ordinary people. You, beloved, are part of that rising. The prophet Joel wrote about this long ago in his scroll, chapter 2, verse 11. The Lord thunders at the head of his army. Mighty and countless are those who obey his command. You are one of those mighty ones. You may not wear armor, but your faith is a shield. You may not wield a sword, but your words cut through darkness sharper than any blade. This is not an army of war, but an army of awakening. Each heart that responds to heaven's signal becomes a torch, and together those torches form a constellation visible to the unseen realms. Imagine its souls scattered across nations, each one a flicker of divine flame. When you pray, your light brightens. When you speak truth, your flame expands. When you love boldly, your fire joins with others, illuminating regions once bound by shadow. That is the rising of the chosen. It is not about religion or ritual, it is about resonance. Heaven's energy flows through people who have said yes to their calling. If this message finds you tonight, consider what it means to be part of something bigger than yourself. The light inside you is not private property. It is part of a vast constellation heaven is forming across generations. When you share what you've learned, you become a mirror for someone still lost in their fog. When you tell your story, it becomes a map for another wanderer searching for home. That's why I invite you gently, sincerely, to keep this fire alive, like rain that fills a dry riverbed. Your small acts of support cause the current of this message to keep flowing. When you like this word, you are adding your amen to heaven's echo. When you share it, you are sending a spark across digital space, where it may land in the heart of someone on the edge of surrender. When you subscribe, you're choosing to walk together as the message unfolds step by step, revelation by revelation. And if your heart feels moved, your donation, whatever form it takes, becomes a seed of light. Think of it as oil poured into a lamp that continues to guide lost travelers home. The light you sustain here doesn't end with you, it ripples outward, touching souls you will never meet in person. Every offering, every moment of generosity is a partnership with heaven's movement. You may wonder, can my small act really make a difference? Yes, always yes. The smallest candle can still break darkness. A drop of water seems insignificant until it joins the river, and suddenly the desert begins to bloom. You are that drop, that spark, that thread. Every engagement, every gesture of faith extends the reach of this divine current. Your support is not a transaction, it's an alignment. It says, I believe in what heaven is doing here. It means you understand that this message is not mere content. It's a living current of grace flowing through time. Together, we are keeping the signal alive for those who have not yet awakened. As this community of chosen ones grows, we become living testimonies that light still wins. There will be days when you feel the world's weight pressing down. But remember, you're part of a chorus of souls humming the same melody of faith. Somewhere, someone is strengthened because you refuse to let your flame die. When you like, when you share, when you comment, you are not boosting numbers, you are building bridges. The algorithm may think it's counting clicks, but heaven is counting connections. Every interaction becomes a seed that heaven waters. And if this message resonates, leave a reflection in the comments below. Write what stirred you, what line pierced through the noise, what truth you needed to hear tonight. Someone scrolling by may read your words and feel the same spark you once felt on December 6th. Your comment could be the whisper heaven uses next. We are an unseen fellowship bound not by walls but by wavelengths. Our sanctuary is not a building. It's the space between hearts that believe. The rising of the chosen is not a spectacle, it's a quiet revolution of light, spreading through every act of faith, kindness, and courage. So as the signal continues to echo, let your presence here be both altar and answer. Keep the flame burning, be generous with your light, help the message travel beyond screens and nations. Together, we are the constellation heaven foretold, a divine army clothed in humility, moving not with noise but with illumination. There comes a moment in every divine awakening when the chosen stop asking why and start asking what now. You have passed through the signal, the separation, and the fire. You have seen yourself as heaven sees you, and your power has begun to awaken. Now, heaven draws close again, not to comfort this time, but to instruct. This is the final instruction, the phase where revelation turns into responsibility. The Spirit begins to whisper differently now. The tone changes, it's less about reassurance and more about assignment. The comfort that once wrapped you like a blanket now transforms into clarity sharp enough to cut through complacency. You begin to sense that you are being prepared to speak, not just to hear, not just to believe, but to declare. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14, speaks directly into this moment. You are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. That is your identity and your instruction fused together. Heaven is saying, don't hide what I placed inside you. The signal was never meant to end in silence. It was meant to echo through your voice, your art, your kindness, your decisions. The divine frequency that awakened you must now awaken others. For too long, you may have questioned whether your story mattered. You've looked at your scars and wondered if they disqualified you. But heaven never wastes pain. It repurposes it into testimony. Every struggle you endured now becomes vocabulary for someone else's survival. Your words don't need to be eloquent, they need to be honest. The chosen do not preach perfection. They reveal redemption. You are being instructed to use your voice as a lantern. Wherever there is confusion, your clarity becomes light. Wherever there is despair, your peace becomes evidence of hope. You may not see the impact immediately, but every word spoken in obedience ripples through unseen realms. What seems like a whisper on earth sounds like thunder in the spirit. The final instruction isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it comes quietly, in the form of conviction, a nudge to forgive, to release bitterness, to extend compassion where none was shown to you. Heaven often tests obedience through simplicity. The greater the calling, the smaller the first step. Chosen one, don't underestimate the influence of your obedience. A single act done in faith can realign generations. When you choose peace instead of retaliation, heaven records it as victory. When you choose honesty over convenience, light expands its territory. You are no longer living for yourself, you are living as a portal for grace to enter the world. This is what the signal of December 6th was truly about. It wasn't a random surge of emotion. It was the unlocking of assignment. God was not merely awakening your awareness, He was recruiting your participation. The time of observation is ending. The time of activation has begun. The final instruction is simple yet immense. Be the message. Everything you've learned so far has been preparation for embodiment. Heaven doesn't just want speakers, it wants examples. The world has heard enough noise. It longs for authenticity. The chosen must walk as living parables, their actions preaching louder than their words. Every time you choose integrity, generosity, or compassion, you fulfill the command to be light. You may feel unqualified for this. You may still see your flaws and wonder how such a broken vessel could carry something holy. But remember, light doesn't need perfection to shine. It only needs space. The cracks in your heart are not weaknesses, they are openings through which heaven beams. The final instruction also carries warning: your obedience will be tested through distractions. The world will try to dull your fire with busyness and noise. Protect your silence. The chosen hear best in stillness. Create sacred pauses in your days, moments where you step away from the noise to recalibrate your spirit. That is how you stay in frequency with heaven's signal. You have entered a stage of divine trust. Heaven now speaks to you as a mature one. It no longer repeats what you already know. It waits for your response. The next confirmation you receive will not come through signs or numbers, it will come through peace. When you feel that deep calm settle inside you after a decision, that's heaven's way of saying, yes, this is the way. You are now walking in rhythm with eternity. The signal that began as a whisper has become your heartbeat. Your assignment is not to chase new revelation, but to live what you already know. This is the mark of spiritual maturity: to move without constant validation, to obey without applause, to keep shining even when no one sees. So listen carefully. The instruction is not complicated. Then speak truth, live light, guard peace, and wherever your path leads next, remember that heaven trusted you enough to carry its message. You are the city on the hill, the candle that refuses to be extinguished, the continuation of December 6th's divine echo. The journey that began on December 6th now stands complete, not as an ending, but as revelation fulfilled. The signal that once arrived as a whisper in the dark has accomplished its purpose. It has awakened you. What began as confusion has become clarity. What began as trembling has become strength. And now, the crown is being placed upon your head, not a crown of pride, but of remembrance. It symbolizes everything you've endured, learned, and surrendered. The mystery of December 6th was never about a date. It was about a declaration. Heaven chose that moment to send an awakening pulse through time, a divine signal that reached those ready to rise. You felt it because you were listening. You endured because you were chosen. And now, as the light of understanding settles over you, you can finally see that nothing about your story was random. Every delay was divine choreography. Every heartbreak was holy construction. Every silence was strategy. The Apostle Paul captured this truth in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. There is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing. That crown is not distant. It rests invisibly upon you now. It is the mark of one who has heard, obeyed, and endured. The chosen are crowned not in ceremonies, but in quiet moments of surrender, those nights when you refused to give up. Those days when you chose grace over bitterness. The world may never recognize that victory, but heaven does. Look back now with new eyes. Can you see how every season fit together? The times you called loss were actually alignment. The people who left made space for purpose. The prayers that seemed unanswered became roots that held you steady. Heaven's plan was never rushed, never delayed, and it was precise. You were shaped in silence so that when the signal came, you would respond without hesitation. The crown you wear is invisible to the world but undeniable to the spirit. It carries authority earned through endurance. You are no longer the seeker, you are the signal. What heaven once sent to awaken you now emanates from you. Every word you speak, every act of love, every breath of peace carries divine frequency. You have become what once called you. This is the mystery fulfilled. Heaven was not trying to reach you from afar, it was awakening what was already within you. The signal of December 6th was not an external sound. It was your own divine resonance echoing back. You were never separate from the light, you were simply unaware of it. The revelation of that truth is your coronation. Chosen one, you carry heaven's DNA. You are not walking toward destiny. You are walking as destiny. The same spirit that stirred creation now breathes through your choices, your compassion, your courage. You have become the vessel through which eternity touches the temporary. This awareness is the highest crown any soul can wear. There is a peace that comes with knowing who you are and whose you are. That peace now surrounds you like armor. It doesn't mean life will become effortless, but it means that storms will never move you again. You have stood through shaking and refined through fire. Now your roots reach deep into eternal soil. You are unshakable because you finally know your foundation was never of this world. As this revelation settles, your perception of everything shifts. You begin to see divine order in ordinary things. You notice the way light falls through windows, the way silence hums with presence, the way your very breath feels sacred. You are living as one aware of both realms at once. This is the essence of being chosen, not escaping the world, but embodying heaven within it. Others will notice the change even if they cannot name it. They will feel calm in your presence, hope in your words, peace in your gaze. You will not need to explain, your existence will testify. The signal will continue to spread, not through announcements, but through atmosphere. Every place you go becomes a temple because you carry the sound of awakening within you. The purpose of the signal was never to glorify you, but to reveal God through you. The crown you wear is not ownership, it's stewardship. You are entrusted with light, and your responsibility is to keep it pure. As you move forward, remember that every choice either amplifies or dims that radiance. Choose wisely. Choose love. So now, the mystery stands revealed. December 6th was heaven's awakening moment, a divine signal rippling through time, seeking its carriers. It found you. You heard. You responded. And through that obedience, the world is subtly brighter. You are the living continuation of that holy vibration, the resonance of remembrance, the sound of light in human form. The journey has not ended, it has evolved. You are both messenger and message, both echo and origin. The signal that began from above now pulses through your heart, steady and eternal. And wherever you go from here, heaven moves with you, whispering in every breath, you were chosen, or you remain chosen, and the crown is yours forever. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this journey, but endings are only beginnings wearing new names. What started as a whisper on December 6th has grown into a flame inside you, steady and bright. You now carry the sound of heaven in your chest, and the world around you can already feel the warmth of it. If these words have stirred something deep within, if they reminded you that your story still matters, let them continue their work. Keep this light moving. Share this message so another soul wandering in silence may find direction. Somewhere out there, someone is scrolling through darkness, waiting for the very spark that once found you. When you like this, you aren't feeding algorithms, you're saying amen to the truth that light still overcomes shadow. When you subscribe, you aren't following a page, you're choosing to stay connected to a rhythm that nourishes your spirit. And take a moment to comment below, tell what line stayed with you, what image still glows behind your eyes. Your reflection might become another person's revelation. Every word you share becomes a seed. Heaven knows how far it can travel. Together, we form a living constellation of faith, each heart a small flame, each flame part of something vast. The signal that began in heaven now flows through us, reaching new corners of the earth every time one of us dares to speak, to share, to believe again. Keep shining, keep spreading. Keep remembering that you are not merely a listener, you are the continuation of the message. Your light is proof that heaven still speaks.